Hello YouTube, it is me, Raina, and I am back. And I am here to talk about Ncuti Gatwa, who was formerly the 15th Doctor. And there's been some really disrespectful headlines when it comes to Ncuti on his time on Doctor Who and the recent fallout or, recap of like the new announcement that Doctor Who is coming back and the Disney Plus deal falling through and what resulted in that, who's at fault. Everyone's pointing fingers, and one of the reasons that was put in one of the articles was that a source said that they felt like Ncuti wasn't a great ambassador for the show. And I'm here to say that is BS. Okay? He is a fantastic ambassador of the show. He's been a great ambassador of all the stuff he's been in, from sex education, the Doctor Who, to his theater stuff, to his stuff in his movies. He has always been consistently professional in every single thing he has been in up to this point. Okay? And people who are trying to make him the fall guy are horrendously wrong. Okay, he did all the press interviews over in America and in London, in the UK. They did the premieres. He basically shared fan art throughout his time in Doctor Who. The reason why it felt like his presence, I guess, outside the show when it comes to Doctor Who wasn't as present as the previous actors is because the time that he had on the show was so short. And I remember saying last year, because that's when season 1 came out, and they were already filming season 2, which resulted in the whole leaking of the new companion with Verada and Millie and that whole mess that happened. I was concerned that, if a season 3 were to have happened, that would have been filmed right when season 2 was coming out, and he would have already been gone as a Doctor before his whole show was out. So, I kind of already had this anxiety, I guess you can say, or, kind of inkling like, it seems like his era is going by way too fast and we need to slow down, a little bit. And to me, that's the reason why. I mean, he did Doctor Who Proms, but, he never did, Children in Need and, Red Nose Day. And for this season, considering they had like a Eurovision type episode, he was supposed to be at Eurovision, but, he backed out because of his stance with the whole Palestine genocide that was going on. He's been very vocal about that online on his social media, and I commend him for that, and I agree with him wholly. But other than that, like, he didn't really have any time to do anything Doctor Who because it went by so fast. His time on the show was so fast, and then when you think about his start in the show, like, he didn't really have a big pompous circumstance or even a big announcement. It was kind of a matter-of-fact announcement, like, oh, hey, here's the Doctor. And then, of course, his announcement was paired with David and Catherine Tate coming back. It kind of took the steam off of that, and then you see how the bi-generation happened in the giggle and how his first few moments as a Doctor was shared with a very previous, very popular Doctor and everything like that. It always kind of felt like, unfortunately, Ncuti was overshadowed by RTD's previous era, with him being regenerated from, the David Tennant 14th Doctor, and then regenerating into the Billie Piper or whatever she is. To be sandwiched in between, just two very popular, very favored, potents, I guess you could call them, I don't know, pillars of the show's past of RTD1. Like, to me, it's just, I won't say it's sad, but it's unfair. For the first time, you have a black man leading the show, a queer black man leading the show, is pushing the show forward, and he's sandwiched in between the two white, very popular, show of yesteryear. I just don't like that at all, and that didn't all fall on him. When he was put up to the task and he had to do stuff for Doctor Who, go to Comic-Con, go to do certain things, he did it. It's just that he just didn't have enough time. The time was short, unfortunately. And I think I said this in my previous video, like, us as fans, and I think Ncuti with him playing the Doctor, didn't really have time to really marinate into him being the Doctor. I mean, I didn't have time to marinate with this whole entire era, but with him being Doctor particularly, it felt like a guest spot. I won't say placeholder. I still believe, obviously David Tennant's a placeholder, and we can go ahead and assume that Billie Piper's going to be a placeholder. But I just felt like this, it kind of felt like a guest coming through, and that's not a dig at Ncuti. That's, to me, actually, it's a dig at, BBC, BBC Wales, Bad Wolf, and Disney Plus, and everything. And they knew he was a busy actor. And, I guess the scheduling couldn't work out, unfortunately, and these things do happen. And, of course, the deal, being at standstill for months didn't help neither. And he needed to move on because he was booked and busy. I mean, hey, they already knew what it was from the get-go. So, I mean, unfortunately, it just didn't work out. So, yeah, I'm here to stand up for Ncuti and vouch for him if I have to. Like, he was a great ambassador for the show. He, very positive, even with all the blowback and all the hate, that he got from, of course, the grifters and everything and whatever. I just, hope that his career continues to grow, and we see it. He's in the play right now, and he is going to continue to thrive. He is way too talented. He's going to be fine in his career. I just wanted to just give my 2 cents on this whole controversy, if you want to call it. So what are your thoughts on this? Leave your thoughts down below and bye, YouTube.